I'd like to welcome Tulsa musician Jenny Labow to the Human Together Music Fest. How have you been? What have you been doing during all these shutdowns and all this COVID-19
Yeah.
business?
Hi, good to see you. I have been working from home and it's been kind of different, but it's been good. I've been working on a lot of music and kind of stuck at home like most people are.
Kind of forced
So
you to take another creative path, if you will. So
yeah, definitely. A lot of videos and live streaming. So
nice.
Zooming and, you know, FaceTime. And so I teach kids music as well. So I've been doing FaceTime
Oh,
lessons.
nice,
So that's
nice.
been working out. Oklahoma Music Academy is where everybody's been teaching from home. And so it's been all right, but
Good. Moving
making it through.
forward. Moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's my first question. You've had a long career ranging from Glass House, your former band, which I was a fan of, and playing at the
Yeah.
Lilith Fair, which I attended at the 89er Stadium, I believe it was. And you've had some great albums
Yeah.
and Flourish and everything, but you among them. What kind of musical things have you been up to lately, though?
Well, I have a CD that I haven't released yet, that I worked on in LA with guitar player Monty Pittman, who is Madonna's guitar player. And I wrote and recorded songs with him and with a producer named Malcolm Wellsford, who's from New Zealand. And that album right now is with Renaissance Records, and um, who did my other albums. And they are supposed to be mastering the album, and then hopefully I'll be able to put it out.
What's
um,
the timeline on that?
I've been wanting to put it out for a long time, so I don't know. I guess I'm kind of waiting on the mastering, and then we'll see. But it'd be nice if it could come out this year. But I don't have any specific release date for it. I've been writing some new material since that one has been, a long time coming. So maybe even doing some new stuff with I was in a band called the Jumpshots with Robert Coggins, and we've been working on some music together as well. So
Yeah,
um,
I saw that. I was going to ask you a few questions about that later in the interview. So that's good that you're
yeah,
still working with them. So, CDs have kind of gone by the wayside. Once it
yeah,
is up, would you be on formats like Spotify or where do you think it'll be available?
yes. Well, Renaissance, they go through Believe Digital, which does I think they do Spotify and all the other, a lot of digital sites. I know they also have my stuff on YouTube as well. And so, yeah, I think that's where they will have it.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
So you've been a musician for a few minutes. How do you think you've evolved musically over the years, so from your beginning to where you're at now?
I think, well, in the beginning, I started out as a rock singer in a rock band. Um, and, then I went that was in the beginning, doing a lot of Led Zeppelin and songs like that. Then I went into Glass House, where we did a lot of pop music, dance music, that kind of thing. And then when I went on my own, I really was doing a lot of folk music and like the Lilith Fair, singer-songwriter, which is sort of where I've landed, in the singer-songwriter realm. And yeah,
You've come a long
so,
way. You said you started with rap music?
oh, rock.
Oh, I thought you said rap. I
No,
was like, wow, that'd be quite a. So okay, no, not
I
that
saw your
far
face.
off. I was gonna say
I'm a terrible rapper.
I
I
was gonna say
mean,
I'm gonna have to hear some of that of rap music. Oh, rock music. Okay, gotcha, gotcha.
yeah, I mean, if you've ever heard Glass House, we did, Rapture by Blondie, and
Yes.
there, Fab Five Freddy told me everybody slide, DJ.
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just a terrible rapper, but rock music, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Do you still stay connected with some of the members of Glass House?
Yeah, actually, we had a Glass House reunion lunch last summer, and that was fun. John Quinn from Glass House was in the Jumpshots that I was in for about 6 or 7 years with him. So, and that wasn't long ago, so I got to play with him. I have also collaborated with Brad Mitchell
Mhm.
on various projects. We wrote a song for the Tulsa Girls School, Art School, and have done some different recording. So,
I'm pushing for a
yeah.
reunion. We need a concert here. We need a.
I know. That's
I think it'd
what,
be
you know,
huge.
with Facebook, it's like reunion, reunion.
Yeah, in Oklahoma City, I think it'd go great. I'm sure in Tulsa it would as well too. So
That'd be great. Well, Scott Taylor is in town. He lives here. And then Jeff Livingston is in Austin. So he's not that far away.
hey, listen, I'll be first in line. I'll be first in
I
line.
think,
You've
yeah.
done some soloist music for Temple Israel. That sounds fascinating. Tell me a little bit
Yes.
more about that. Are you
Um,
teaching for them as well?
yeah, well, sort of. I'm glad you brought that up. That's a whole nother facet of my career as of late, which for the past few years I've been doing services at Temple Israel. I grew up in Tulsa, and my family went to Temple Israel, so I was there as a teenager, and then I left, to go do other things. And I came back, and I used to play their Shalom Fest every year, which is a Jewish music festival. And one year, there were a husband and wife rabbi, the Citrons were here, and they asked me to come and do a service. And so then I ended up doing services. Since then, we have a new rabbi, Rabbi Weinstein, and his wife, Laurie Weinstein, and she's the cantor, who's the musical person. And I am what's called a cantorial soloist. So I'm not a clergy member. I'm not ordained or anything.
Mhm.
I have a title of doing music during services. I have done the Sunday school as well, and I provide music for certain things for kids if they need me to. But the cantor is doing a lot of that now. So I've been quite busy, and you'll see that if you see a Temple Israel Facebook page, we do weekly videos right now. I've been doing a lot of that. So the cantor and I actually are working up a lot of just secular songs. Um, so it's been really fun. Just, we did some Neil Young, we've done 10,000 Maniacs, we've done, Indigo Girls, we do all that stuff, as well as the Jewish music. So that's been so yeah, I'm sort of transitioning as well, sort of not that I wasn't, but as a Jewish music artist, and even starting to write some Jewish music. So that's kind of exciting. Um, and there's a whole kind of community of Jewish musicians and artists who I've been lucky enough to meet over the past few years at different conferences. And so it's kind of a whole nother, outlet. Um,
That's a that's a nice thing. Kind of come back to your faith. Now, is that I have visited? It's either the Tulsa Holocaust Museum or Tulsa Jewish Arts. Is that
yeah,
connected with them as well?
Yeah, the Fenster Museum, they have exhibits, Holocaust exhibits there, and that's at the Jewish Federation at 71st there, and that is part of the Jewish community. So we work alongside the Federation. I mean, they're a separate entity, but we do kind of cross paths a lot, and so and that's a great museum. They had I think the last thing I saw there was a Jewish rock stars like Geddy Lee, and they had all the and musicians, Bob Dylan and Gene Simmons, and all these pictures of these artists, and that was pretty fun. But yeah, it's Tulsa has not a huge Jewish community, but
Mhm.
I think that with our we also we were going to have a Jewish music festival. It was going to be in June. We were bringing in this band called Nefesh Mountain, and they're a couple. They do great music, and I was going to play at it. And anyways, of course, it's postponed.
Hit the
But
pause button. Hit the pause button. Well,
right.
Oklahoma City's the same way as far as the Jewish community. I actually interviewed a lady from the Oklahoma City Jewish Federation, and so
Oh yeah.
that was pretty interesting. So I know that small. I'm Catholic myself, but small
Oh,
communities, but
right.
they still exist. So that's great. So
They do.
you
They do.
you mentioned earlier about the Jump Shots, a band that you
Yes.
played with. Is this a band that you're still playing with or recorded with?
Well, we aren't really playing live like we were, not just because of this situation, but we had played for. I was with them, I think, 6 years, almost 7 years, so and then we sort of ran the circuit. We it ran its course, and people wanted to start doing other things. So, but Robert Coggins, who was one of the original founders of the band, has done a lot of recording, and he actually did a lot of production on the CD I was talking about with Renaissance. So so he's always doing new music, and I'm writing to it, and so I'm hoping that that some of that music will get out, and maybe we'll be able to play that live one day when we can all go out again.
Awesome, awesome. Well, that leads to my last question. After all this
Yes.
pandemic blows over, what are some of your plans? Do you have any live shows planned? You mentioned the one in June, but what are your kind of tentative plans, if you will?
Yeah, I've also, I've been playing with Laren Simpson, who I used to play with in the Jenny Labow band a long time ago. We've done some acoustic gigs, and we actually had a gig booked at the Deco Lounge this month, and then we had some Los Cabos gigs in the summer booked. So that's what I would have been doing. So
Mhm.
probably when this is over, I'll probably go back to playing acoustic with Laren. So just, he plays a lot. I just was doing it at maybe once a month or just whenever we get booked. Um, and then just working on the new music, and then hopefully with Temple Israel, I think doing these videos, we might do more and more. And then perhaps the Cantor and I will be playing some secular gigs
Nice.
in some, that's what we're kind of planning on.
Still moving forward. Where can people find out about what you're going to be doing in the future? Is there kind of a landing spot for where people can be updated about your music and future performances?
I think just Facebook, Jenny Labeau. I have two pages. One is Jenny Labeau 2, which I don't really put a lot on. I just created it so I could, add more people. And but my regular Facebook, I think I pretty much usually post everything on there. Sometimes the Temple Israel Facebook page too. Um, but um, but I think Facebook is the main place. My website was up, and I'm actually working on a new website, but I don't know when that will ever possibly be up.
Well,
So I'm relying on Facebook.
keep an eye and an ear out for both of them. Well, thank you for joining
Yeah.
me today, and I look forward to your performance for the Human Together Music Fest.
Yes, I'm very excited. Thank you. Thanks for having me.